All right, dude. Yo, we're live, man. We were just completely shocked by what we saw on the TV there that they're legalizing bodega cats.
Dude, there's Pigeon Fest too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Listen, we were all ready to go to talk about a lot of stuff, and that distracted us a little bit.
Well, it's just that makes the news now. Like,
yeah. Listen, there's people dying. Israel's getting bombed right now. Iran's shooting missiles, and we're worried about Pigeon Fest, and we're worried about 1,000 cat ladies in the city. You know, protesting Trump's military parade today. Right? Happy birthday, Trump. Yeah, it's this afternoon. It's this afternoon. I think it's at 6:30 tonight, actually, when the Trump parade is. You know what? Let's jump into that a little bit. You want to jump into Trump a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right. You obviously didn't know about what was going on today. So today there's something called, I guess it's they're having a military parade. It's the 250th anniversary of the United States Army.
When's do we do those? Like, we don't ever do military parades. Right?
No,
it is a little weird. You know, it's got a lot of feels a little North Korean. You know what I mean?
They said that the other day.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. It's funny you say that because because that's funny. I heard that the other day. It was a comparison to what they're doing in North Korea.
You know, like, we don't need to run our shit down the road and be like, look what we got, you know, like, right? I do. Yes, I do agree. Because you know what? When I was thinking about this, I was like in a little the conundrum myself because you're right. It's a little ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous. And it's especially ridiculous that, because there's like the temperature of the countries around the world right now is there's war going on right now. Well, there's always war. I know. But to celebrate the Army, which is fine. And obviously, last time that they tried to do this was the last time Trump was in office. So the conundrum. He tried to do this before. Okay. Did he succeed?
No, I don't think he did because they don't. Like I said, they don't do it that often. I tried to look it up a little bit, and it said that it's they've done like 4 in the history of like all presidents.
Yeah.
So that's kind of weird to me. But the conundrum that I'm in is like, yeah, I think it's a little ridiculous. But then the other side, the people that are protesting it, I think they're ridiculous too. And I think that's the temperature of the country. Everybody is ridiculous with how they feel. Like we're talking about this like two common sense individuals, but there's people that they're yelling and screaming that we don't want a king. And then Trump saying it's my birthday and we're gonna have a military parade. So where do we meet in the middle with some kind of talk about this?
Yeah. I'd just like to see the population of people that want the king. Yeah. Like you protested no king, but like where's the big push for king?
Yeah.
You're protesting something you made up.
Exactly. Now, you know what, and what's, and that's what kind of like drives me absolutely insane about what's going on, because the comparisons to a king, obviously right now, the comparisons to Hitler, the comparisons to all these people that did horrible, horrible things. Now, listen, Trump's not a guy I would sit down and have a beer with because I think he's just like that narcissistic egomaniac. And I think but I also think that he needs to run the country right now.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
I mean, it wasn't working.
Dude, I don't like him at all, but like I voted for him 3 times.
Yeah.
And if I could, I'd vote for a 4th.
Yeah. And that seems to be the narrative because
it's only because the fucking circus freaks that the other party's running out there that you just can't good conscious vote for.
No. I mean, you brought up a good point. A lot of people I think in this country they attach themselves to like a narrative because they want, maybe it's because they want to feel part of something. I don't know what it really quite is, but the radicalization of like both sides is all you hear. Like all you hear is like the church is trying to take over the country. Now you hear on the other side, everybody's chopping their penises off. What's going on in this world? It's like, but then I think that like there's got to be 90% of the country that thinks both of that's kind of ridiculous, and we should just be Americans.
Yeah, I mean, you hope so. It's like these fringe groups got loud voices now, and it's wrong. This shit used to get taken care of on the fucking school bus when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Like you have adults now that grew up with, the no bullying stuff, and I've always had this saying that like you took the apex predator out of society.
Yep.
And now snakes are overpopulating or rats are you know, like it's
that's a great comparison.
Like the social pecking order is almost non-existent, you know?
Yes. When you say like social pecking order, like, and you know what? And you just brought up like what your shirt says, right? It bring back bullying. Like bullying, it kind of like I would say bullying kind of like a metaphor, because when I hear the word bullying, I don't think of some guy that's, you know, in high school, it's beating you up in high school. But I guess that could be the thought process. But I think, you know, from our generation anyway, listen, I got picked on a little bit as a kid. And, you know, I've had my share of, like, I guess, as maybe people say, bullying. But
yeah,
I feel it makes me. I feel it made me stronger, dude.
Yep. It taught you how to deal with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it gave you confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. Because when I was young, listen, we met in, like, you know, later in my life, like, you know, but when I was young, I mean, I'll say it, like, I was a pussy, dude. Like, you know, conflict. I don't want to have an argument or a fight with somebody. I'm talking when I was really young,
yeah, sure.
You know, and it bothered me, you know what I mean? But I think the way that affected me when I was young, I think it affected me differently, because I woke up one morning and it wasn't like a gradual thing. It wasn't like a gradual, like I went from being really shy to what I am today. It's like, it just happened overnight. Yeah. And I went through years and years and years of just being like this crazy person. You know what I mean? But I think it goes back to that. So I think when you say bring back bullying, if you could give kids, us boys especially, I try to tell my boys this, and your son, I mean, I just don't know. I have sons. I don't know what it is to raise a daughter, but teach them to be strong, and, like, teach them to not give a shit what people think about them.
Well, nobody should care what people think about them, you know?
And that's the thing, but everybody does this day and age.
Well, yeah, it's all about, you know, like likes,
yeah,
followers, you know.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what a lot of people's judgment of, back to Trump for a second, is like, what a lot of these people say is, like, they look at Trump as the guy from, like, the 90s, like, you know, hanging out with everybody, with all the stars, and talking about the Republican Party's dumb, you know, back in the day. But now he's like, you know, he's just like big, huge personality. And his narcissism, I think,
the name sells.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's a word in the dictionary called trumped, when you outdo somebody. But I think his narcissistic attitude, I think, is his superpower as president, because when he says he wants to do something, he's not going to let himself fail, because he's so narcissistic that he's like, I said I'm going to do something.
Issues with that. You know, like, sure, the guy's full of himself.
Correct.
You know, I mean, narcissistic, like, it's just such a fucking popular little word, you know?
Okay.
Like, it's just annoying. Like,
yeah. How would you like? All right, so narcissism. Like, I understand that's kind of like yes, it's a word. It's a descriptive word that a lot of people use this day and age, and it's like people maybe don't really know exactly what it actually means. Like, to me, a narcissist is somebody that could just sit in front of you and just tell them how great they are, not caring about, you know, not kind of caring about your conversation. I'm not saying not caring about your thoughts or your feelings, not caring about your conversation, saying, like, I did this, I did that. You know what, Kev, I went out and I caught a fish. How big was your fish? I was about 3 feet. I went out and I caught a 6-foot fish.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, my fish is better. I have the best. He talks in hyperbole, you know? And I think when I say narcissism, I think that's kind of like his superpower, like as president, because he just has the ability to go into any room and know that he's better than everybody in that room. Maybe he may not be, but he knows he is. And that, to me, is kind of like a superpower of narcissists.
Yeah. I mean, he's full of himself. He's confident.
Yeah.
You know, like, you throw that word out there, it's like, seems like a bad word.
It does.
You know?
Shit, Kev, you're right. I'm never going to use the word narcissism again. No. I know. I hear you.
I mean, we all have moments of narcissism, I would think,
absolutely, we do.
Throughout our day.
Absolutely, we do.
Like, I'm a better driver than that asshole in the left lane. You know, like, whatever, you know, like.
Yeah. But is narcissism that you're better than that driver, or that driver sucks?
Well, it's the you're better than the driver. You know, it's obvious the driver sucks because he's doing 50 in the left lane. You know? But it's, you know, it's.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's all the perspective of the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, if you're affected by a narcissist, like, I don't care if you're a narcissist. You know, be a dick.
Right.
You're a dick.
Right.
Not you.
No. I know. I'm not a narcissist.
You know, like the people that get affected about it, like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know. It's kind of, I'm glad you said that because every time I say that word, like I'm usually talking about it with people who are like, yeah, narcissism, but I was never actually called and said like, you know what, though, that's a silly word. So I'm glad like you broke it down. It is kind of a silly word. Maybe I should use another descriptive word, but what I do know is whatever he is what we absolutely 100% need right now. And you just said it yourself, like you don't really like the guy. I don't really like the guy, but you want what was going on over there to take over the country?
Yeah, we got to see how this new thing plays out in the old Middle East. You know,
yeah,
the grab bag that is the Middle East. You know, who's fighting,
right?
Whatever.
And it's almost, and it's almost like right now Trump's in office, right? Yeah. Now there's still wars going on and whatnot. Trump, vowed to, I don't want any more wars. I'm going to pull everybody back. This is just what he says. Okay. Yeah. But like you said, there's always going to be a war. There's always going to be a war.
Especially there.
So now it's so obvious that there's interest in certain places because the last administration wanted us to take care of this place. Mm-hmm. Now Trump's administration wants to take care of this place. Yeah. So at the end of the day, when are we just going to get together as the people and just march down to the White House and just stand in front of it and say, dude, what's going on? Help us out here.
The whole Middle East is just mind-boggling from like the, post-World War II. Mm-hmm. I just wish we'd stay out of it.
Yeah.
Because we kind of created all the problems that are going on over there.
I agree.
Just like we just go away, but there's oil, so we're always going to be there.
We have oil here, though.
Yeah, but there's oil there.
I know, but how much is just like enough? And that's like the greed. That's what's we're going to kill each other. We're going to eat each other from the inside out, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's unfortunately that's what humans do, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how many civilizations have like gone like before us? You think about all the way back to the past, like like the Mongols and all these people that came and they just like destroyed everybody, left their sperm everywhere, and then you get the next comes, and then the empires start falling. It's like eventually we're gonna fall, dude.
You bring it back to the Bible, Cain and Abel. There are 4 fucking people on the earth, and
yeah,
one of them killed one of them.
That's what they tell you. That's what they tell you. Yeah,
nature.
I know.
This place ain't big enough for the 4 of us, I guess.
Yeah. Now, do you think that like my wife said something to me this morning? She's like, she's like, war is so stupid. Like, why do we go to war? She said that to me, and I think that's a female perspective.
I think it's a logical perspective.
Of course, it is.
Like you go to war for rich and powerful people.
Right.
That's what.
Right.
A handful of rich and powerful people want something, and you're the means to get it.
Yeah. But the thing that is like, how do you look at something like that? How do you look at war and say, yeah, well, it's terrible. People die. Like, I don't want to go to war. I don't want anybody to go to war. Yeah. But so how do you retaliate against a country that's very aggressive towards you?
Yeah. I mean, it's,
people they're blowing up subways. They blow up the Twin Towers. They're every single day that we're under a microscope, that we're America and somebody's trying to attack us. Well, and unfortunately, violence is usually the answer.
Yeah. I mean, again, like if we stop sticking our noses into shit, we'd probably get less shit blowing up over here. Mm-hmm. But
I agree.
I don't know. I wish I had the answers, man.
No, it sounds like I said, it sounds like a logical thing, but you could say this, people could say this, but it's obviously a hard thing to do. Why don't we just wake up one morning, whoever the president is, Trump is the president now, and say, all right, everybody, all the troops, just come home. Okay. You want to get rid of the immigrant/migrant situation? Let's put stations. Let's employ our military or ex-military. Make sure no bad people come into the country, and just get the hell out of there. Use our resources. Build our cars. Now the whole thing, like I want to ask you how you felt about tariffs. That'll be next. But build our own cars. Build our own whatever things. Like build our own pendants. And I guess eventually it's going to be a little more expensive. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a world economy, man. You can't survive without being part of it.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot more countries out there that wouldn't be able to survive without us, as opposed to the other way, around.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, and the whole like if you talk, like we have friends in Australia. Now they just see America from a perspective from Australia, which is what they get. And we saw them over the summer, and all this Trump stuff was going on, and they're like, "How could you vote for that guy? Like he's this, he's that." So there's a perspective of him over there. So now there's a perspective of him throughout the entire world right now. You know what I mean? And are they right or are we right? It's like, who's right in all this? Because he says crazy shit.
Yeah, he does.
He does. He says crazy shit.
Yeah, he does.
But a lot of the crazy shit he says, if it was portrayed a little differently, I think people would have received it a little better.
Yeah, but he says that crazy shit because he don't give a fuck.
I know.
I know. Call him, the bad word.
Well,
the N word.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, man.
Narcissist.
Well, yeah. Yeah, but right now, like you said, though, you need that right now. And a lot of people get their feelings hurt by words. Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, like they should really just listen to the message that's being portrayed as opposed to the guy that's saying the message.
There's too many microphones in the world. Mm-hmm. There's too much access.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, everybody's got an opinion. Look, me and you got an opinion.
And the problem is it became a business.
Mm-hmm.
And you stopped getting content and you started getting opinions. And now you have Rachel Maddow.
Maddow.
Now you have Tucker Carlson.
Who I like.
Yeah, I mean he's
a little too religious for me.
He's a little too
way too right for me.
But he makes some valid points.
I do like the fact that he always brings up the fact about what an idiot he was back in the day. And anyway, he kind of like turned his perspective of thinking around that, but he does.
Yeah. I hate his like condescending cell phone sounding voice.
Yeah.
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 Like it's kind of tough to listen to it when you can't stand the
like
voice.
When he's listening to a crazy story, he's like, "Oh my God will save you. God will save you." Yeah, I guess, but that's like you said, though, everybody's got a voice, and the problem being is like me, I know that how I feel about politics and how I feel about life is my opinion. I know that because I can only give you my opinion on what I see in my little microcosm of my world, like whatever news I watch, whatever thing I see on the internet. Yeah. And everybody could say that, I don't watch this or I don't watch that. You're being skewed by some kind of news or some kind of media, and you don't really know it, but you are, because but getting your own thoughts, you have to do a little research. So you pop something on TV, like Con Edison.
That's the thing. People are lazy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
They're just, watching the news and hearing stuff and just taking it for,
absolutely.
Like not like looking into it, like the Trump with the Charlottesville, some nice people comments, that got blown up so much, saying that he was defending neo-Nazi and all this kind of stuff. But it was a snippet of a speech. Not really speech. He was, a little monologue or whatever he was fucking doing that day.
Why could they do that?
Because it fucking gets views, man. Gets clicks, gets likes.
But it
self-advertising. It's a fucking ugly machine.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not news. It's all just agenda driven, whatever way you want it, left, right, however.
Yeah.
Opinions.
Yeah.
And they roll with it too. They like force it down your throat, their opinion. It's not
Yeah. And it's almost unfair because if you have somebody that's trying to break into like the political world, right? And say locally, and guy's got a lot of people that vote for him, and let's just say that I want to throw my hat in and run for like a local thing. Like that guy could say anything he wants about me, like it not be true. Like I'm a nobody, so even if I say, well, it's not true, well, but so and so said it's true, so okay, so I lose because of something that guy said that wasn't true, and I tried to defend myself, but they don't believe me because he's been the assemblyman for so long. Mm-hmm. And that, I just, yellow journalism back in the day, like, I guess that's where it stems from. Like, and when you could just write whatever you want about people and people look at it and it's true. It's like, fuck this guy. I'm not voting for him. He's a jerk. I'm going to vote for this guy. It's just, I don't know. In my own, my book is, I said something that actually I got a little shit about on TikTok a couple of weeks ago. I said that, these agendas, like with the transgender gender and the gays and the gay agenda and stuff like that.
It's Pride Month, bro.
It is. Yes, yes, it is. Happy Pride Month.
Yeah.
Happy Pride. But more importantly, it's Father's Day tomorrow.
Right.
Happy Father's Day tomorrow. But where was I going with that? He just tripped me up with the, just tripped me up with that. But what was I saying? Right. I said that I explained, you guys know my story. Like I have 2 friends, that are gay, that didn't matter to me.
Who doesn't know a gay person?
I was the best man in his wedding, but these 2 people chose to call me the devil and not talk to me because of who I voted for. I was coming for, one told me I was coming for his children. One just stopped talking to me. One stopped talking because of the migrant situation I had a comment about. I'm like, I don't understand. And my whole thoughts behind that is like, if you're gay and lesbian, you need to disconnect yourself from all those other letters.
Yeah.
The point being is like they're fighting all these little small, I know it was a microcosm again, but all these little small little battles when you guys actually fought about it back in the day. You were getting your asses kicked because you were gay back in the 50s and 60s. And these people just walking on the scene, saying that, I want to piss in a kitty litter box. Oh, okay, no problem. It's okay. But they have to disconnect themselves from that because they actually fought a struggle. These people are getting handed stuff because they're supposedly weaker, and I'm using that quotations, but they're humans like us. So I think that agenda needs to be separated because they actually fought a struggle.
Yeah, dude, it's hilarious. Like these people, like the Kitty and the Fox people, like this shit used to be on like Jerry Springer when Jerry Springer was on at like midnight.
Yeah,
or he got like on daytime, Yeah, they're like a fucking voting group. Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah, I know.
Holy Christ!
I know.
Get it together, America. Fuck.
Yes, America has to get it together because that's the kind of stuff that we're enabling in this country. Yeah. And by enabling that country, we're making ourselves weaker, dude. We're making ourselves weaker by the minute. It's
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of. I'd be laughing at us if I lived in a different country. I'm
going to say something really that's going to be misconstrued as pretty fucked up right now, but you have, again, sure, bullying. You're Kevin Aubry in 4th grade. Your time, not now, 4th grade, your time.
Oh, yeah.
Some girl says she's pissing in the kitty litter box. What's happening to that girl? She's going to get bullied and she'll never piss in the kitty litter box again. She'll come to her senses. She'll be 13 and say, wow, I do like boys. I don't want to piss in the kitty litter box. That's wrong. But I'm not saying bullying is right, but she's going to be told it's wrong by her peers, and then it's not going to be cool anymore.
I also feel that she probably wouldn't have been allowed to go to school, like if that's what type of shit she was doing, man. Like
yes,
there would have been a special school for her.
Yeah, yes, where they lick the windows and stuff like that on the school bus. But that's good. Again, it's come from that to this, where we would have thought it was just kind of disability. Now it's something that, like, no, people are like that.
It's a bad word, dude.
I know it is.
Like they even took it away from baseball.
Oh, it's the IL now. Injured. The guy's disabled. Temporarily disabled. How about that?
Right.
But you know what I mean, though?
I know exactly what you mean.
I don't know, man. So because I feel like
I think the first step is they got to stop covering this shit.
Yeah,
you got to get it out of the ether.
If you if you want to go ahead. I'm sorry, Kev.
No.
Like, if you want to get my real opinion on this, like I do have empathy for people. I do, and I think I've gained that older I get. I have empathy. I don't want these people to get. I don't want to get these people to get bullied. I don't want the people that have their I don't want them to get bullied. But I
think if some of them got bullied, some of them would be peeing in kitty litter box.
Well, yeah, that's pretty evident back in the day. Yeah. Because then again, we enable it. We say it's okay.
Yeah.
But then now, your kid and my kid are in a class, and Aiden's say he's in class and he sees that. He's like, Dad, there's some kid just pissed in a kitty litter box. Like, what do I do about this? He's like, don't bully him, but Aiden.
Yeah, the same thing is you can't do anything.
Yeah, go to
the bathroom. Can't even acknowledge the fact that it's weird.
It is weird.
Because now you're hurting the fragile ego that is kitty litter peer.
Yeah, exactly. Now, whose issue is that? Like when people, like when kids grow up fragile like that, like as far as getting their feelings hurt or not, whose problem is that? Like
it should be the parents.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. I talk to my boys on a daily basis. Well, let's just say I have pretty good every day, daily basis, obviously, but I'll sit them down every couple of months, just make sure they're all right. Make sure you got everything going on. Bothered about something. Me and you were good. I had those sit down conversations with my boys all the time. I just think like kids have sit down conversations with their parents, and they say, "This is how it's going to be, mom and dad. Say, just pay for my this, pay for my that. I'm going to pee in a kitty litter box.
Yeah,
I'm in third grade."
I don't even think it's a conversation. It's just more of a demand.
A demand. A demand. Yeah.
Like, and they're gonna kick, scream, cry until they get it.
And I guess just some parents. I'm not gonna listen. I don't want to
being repressed.
Yeah. I don't want to outside. Look at how people parent their own children, because that's not. I only worry about what I do to my kids, but I think that's a little weird. Like like the whole gender reassignment. Like if your 9-year-old kid tells you that he wants to do that, and you do that to your 9-year-old kid, you should be in jail.
Yeah, you should.
I mean, it's you're taking away this person's right to reproduce, right? And that's main. That's the main thing right there.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't a transvestite from the 80s smoking a cigarette with a mustache. This is actually people changing their organs.
Yeah, and it's the parents doing it, because like you said, like 9, you chose the 9-year-old.
Listen, you get to 18 and you want to do it.
The physicians too should be
accountable.
Accountable.
They're pushing these bills in places like California. They're pushing these bills. Some of them. I'm like, you know what, dude? Let me tell you something about California real quick. I went there 2 years ago with my family. If I could get rid of the whole insane liberal, it's the most beautiful. San Diego might be the most beautiful place I've ever seen in America. The people were nice, but then you look outside and what's going on there. It's like the whole state should just like fall into the ocean.
Yeah, I was gonna say just let the rioters hash it out. Didn't hurt.
Well, yeah, but yeah, I mean, there's riots going on there as we speak. And if you ask me, these people say they're rioting out there because they're Americans. This is the biggest look, the transgender.
Well, I mean, California was always big on the rioting.
That's
they're like pro rioters out
there. Yeah. Yeah. And it is Hollywood. So I'm sure there's a little book they could open and say, all right, Steve, we need we need a race car driver, we need a hitman, we need rioters. Up there they go, rioters. Let's hire about 20 of them to come and burn shit down.
Maybe they're just burning all the Diddy evidence.
Did really just go there? That to me, that's nuts to me. All right, you just brought up the Diddy thing. Kanye West showed up yesterday.
Oh, did he? He made an appearance on the old social media.
Didn't go into the courtroom because he wasn't allowed, but he was there to show his support for Diddy.
For Diddy.
For Diddy.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Now,
that's interesting.
Yeah, because he's crazy. All right, I love him, dude. I love him, and I'm of the ilk where I just because he's nuts, because he said crazy shit. Did an interview dressed as a black hooded KKK member with a black KKK outfit. Yeah. He's crazy, but I'm not gonna stop listening to his music. I think musically he's
funny shoes.
Genius. He has funny shoes. Does whatever he wants.
Right.
He's uncancelable.
He's like Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, to the utmost degree. I mean, Dennis Rodman. Well, actually, no. Dennis Rodman went to China. Oh, well, Korea to talk to Kim.
Did Madonna ever get her hands on Kanye? Because that'd be funny.
I don't know. I don't know. I wonder if she's involved in any of the Diddy stuff. Did she stay out of that?
Yeah, she was well before him, and she was big enough not to be influenced.
Yeah.
By his pressures.
Yeah.
Whatever,
The one question.
She probably did a lot more weird shit than he did.
Anyway,
she was a fucking weirdo.
Now, the one question that boggles my mind, and I think it should be asked before any of this stuff, is there's a video of this guy beating the shit out of Cassie, literally beating her, like kicking her, throwing her, beating her. But he's on trial and he may be innocent. But I'm looking at the video. He's dragging a skinny female, beautiful girl down by her hair. Yeah. He's guilty of something there. You know what I mean? It's like,
dude, he's
but the whole thing is like they want money. They want to sue for this. But he's guilty of sin, dude. With Justin Bieber right now, bro. He's a mess.
Yeah.
There's a video of him sucking Meek Mill's penis at a club. That would drive somebody crazy. His mom should be ashamed of herself.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how all that happens. Yeah, like how much did she know when it was going? Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
Like you're blinded by the celebrity spotlight, and it's
That's
like,
right.
oh, just going to Diddy's for a week. You know? Oh, have fun, baby.
And that's
the
problem.
Yeah.
If Diddy called me up and said, yo, Aiden want to come to my house? It's like, no, Aiden doesn't want to come to your house. Well, can I come too? I was like, nah, just Aiden. It's like, no. If he was a top singer or whatever he was, no, you're not going. It's great that, you know what's great now? Mace is coming out with a lot of great stories about Diddy now.
Yeah.
And they're all true because he did say F you to Diddy and all that shit.
Yeah.
I love his podcast too, by the way.
Yeah, he's got one.
Bro, Cameron and Mace have a podcast right now. It's a sports podcast. It's called It Is What It Is.
Oh, really?
But yo, they go in on everybody, dude. They got beef with everybody right now because they say crazy shit, and they're very popular right now.
Well, I mean, that's what sells. Crazy sells,
right? You know. But they both got to a point where all this Diddy stuff was happening, and all these rappers are coming out, and they both got to a point where both of them weren't skewed by Diddy, and they're saying like, "What's going on?"
I feel like all this stuff's coming out, but like nothing's really coming out.
Yeah, dribs and drabs.
You know, it's like little fucking breadcrumbs to keep you clicking.
Yeah.
You know,
you want to get people completely distracted right now. Remember the OJ trial? Yeah. Put the Diddy trial on TV. People won't even know what's going on in Israel.
Dude, like if that was on TV, I feel like the country would shut down.
It would.
Yeah, nobody would be going to work.
It did with the OJ trial. The OJ trial too. If that was on TV, wherever you were, I don't know if you remember that, but wherever you were, you stopped and watched it. If you were walking down the street and there was a TV in the window, you stopped and watched.
It was like kind of a new thing, like trials on TV.
Mm-hmm.
At that
point. Court TV had just come out.
Yeah.
But you're right. That sells us. So if this Diddy thing was live right now, you see all the people that are coming in. That's just leading me to believe that they're trying to like suppress some kind of stuff from the media, which I guess is fine. But
they're always suppressing shit from us, man.
Yeah.
Like the powers that be don't want us to have the info.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm waiting
whatever it is.
Yeah. Like I'm waiting for this whole trial to be over. Diddy's going to get off and he's going to do a trial remix. You know, it's just going to be him getting off, dancing in the background, you know, like while he's getting said he's not guilty. The remix. I don't know how these guys get away. You know, listen, Kev, like there's people that do fucked up shit in this world or whatever. But when you start doing stuff to kids and you start doing like, I truly think that, you know, again, you might think I'm crazy, but I truly feel this way. My religious views are a little skewed, whatever, how I feel about religion, but I believe that there's good and evil. And I believe then that means there must be a devil. I think that all these people that are religious out here, the devil could come in any form. It could come in a form of a guy with horns, energy, whatever it may be. But this guy like Epstein and Diddy, once you start doing with those two guys, that's pure evil, dude. Like that's evil shit. Like when you start dealing and trafficking kids and torturing people.
Yeah.
And these two peoples are representatives of like the evil that's going on. The one guy supposedly hung himself, which it's bullshit, obviously. And then maybe whatever it may be.
Said that he hung himself.
Where'd you hear Patel?
Rogan.
Bro, all he did was kiss Rogan's ass that whole interview, dude. Yeah. I didn't like it. I didn't like the interview. The only reason why I didn't like it is because it seemed like it was him telling Rogan how great he was. And then Rogan would ask him a question. I'm not saying Rogan was receptive to what he was doing, but I think after every story he told is like, well, when you had Donald Trump on or when you had this guy on, it's like, you did such a great job. And that's why I came on here. It's like he said that a lot. And I think Rogan was getting a little annoyed by that.
Yeah.
But I did hear that, though. I did hear what he said.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's also, you need a pit bull like that.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish they'd just tell us.
Yeah.
You know, like
what do you like out of all that shit? Like, what do you want to know most?
I want to know who went there.
Okay, me too.
I want to know who went there more than twice.
Me too.
Because I do think that you could probably go once or twice and maybe not realize what's going on because like you're new to the group.
You talking about Diddy or Epstein? Or both?
Epstein.
Epstein. Okay, go to
Yeah.
Epstein. All right.
And then maybe once you figured out what was going on, you didn't go back.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's going to be hard to prove, but I do feel like there's a scenario to where that could be true for some people.
I think it might be. Do you know why? Because I don't know if you saw it, but there's 2 videos. One of Denzel Washington with Epstein and one of Denzel Washington with Diddy. And there's no other videos. Both videos are him literally saying, talking to him like that in his ear. And they never had any, he was never seen on video with the 2 of them again.
Yeah.
So my understanding might be Denzel Washington was invited to these parties because of who he is. And they thought like somebody like Diddy is going to be like, hey, Denzel, we got this. He's like, yo, I want no part of this bullshit, bro. I'm out. I'm not going to say nothing, but don't ever invite me to one of your parties again. You know, and to your point, I think that's happens to a lot of people, you know, because there is bad shit going on.
Yeah. I feel like it's most likely the case with Trump and him too, because there's videos back in the day and him and whatever, and you know he was in the circle of people he was around. You know, like,
you're right, and I
it
feel
doesn't really make you guilty.
No, it doesn't.
But I do want to see those fucking lists.
Yeah, but like
You know?
you just brought up a great point. A guy like Trump, I think Trump was there not for what they were giving him, but for just because that was the place to be at the time. Oh, Epstein invited me. He's like, this guy's going to be there. Everybody's going to see me. You know, all like the people are going to see me.
Yeah.
And again, back to like what I think he's in the me mentality he has. I don't think he was there to do bad things. I think he was there because it was the place to be at the time.
Yeah. And
that's all, you know, because they'll say, oh, Trump was there. Trump was there. Remember what Prince Andrew said about being there? There's a picture of him sweating his ass off with a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
He said, that's not me. Why? I have a certain disorder where I don't sweat. I don't have any sweat glands. So that's not me. I think he's dead now, I think the guy, but that's what he said.
That's what he said.
With a straight face.
Really?
I have that's not me. I don't have sweat glands.
Yeah, could have been water. You know?
Dude, he's standing there with the 16-year-old girl.
Yeah. Like could have been water, oil.
Water, oil.
Something.
Yeah, water or oil. You lose a lot. Every time you look at something.
Like apparently a freak show. What's his name? Prince Andrew.
Yes.
Albert.
Well, Prince Albert. Yeah. He was obviously a freak. He got a piercing named after him. So that guy's definitely a freak.
But yeah, like I feel like there's going to be a handful, not many.
Yeah,
but a handful of victims of circumstance.
I agree, and there always is.
You know,
there always is.
But the problem is once you let someone get away with being a victim of, not get away, but like label it a victim of circumstance, you're gonna have all these people jumping on the circumstance train.
What about me?
You
what
know?
about me?
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
I believe most of them are guilty. There's probably a handful.
Yeah.
But I think you'd see a pattern in the log.
I gotta be honest with you. I feel like most of these people in Hollywood are guilty of something.
Well, yeah. And that's like, so you take like the whole like Diddy thing where he like drug you unknowingly and like get you in a compromise, blackmail, photo, video, something.
Yep.
You know, that sucks.
Yep.
You know, I mean, stay away from those parties.
Well, yeah.
It won't happen.
Yeah.
Or leave it before 10.
Well, that's what a lot of these guys, that's what a lot of them saying. A lot of them saying they left around a certain time when they felt it started getting weird.
Yeah.
That's what they said. They said, somebody, I forgot who was, said he realized it was getting weird when all the kids were told to leave, but Justin Bieber was still there.
Yeah.
And somebody else, I forgot who it was, another young, Will Smith's kid.
Oh.
Will Smith's kid everybody was told to leave except for them. But the adults stayed. Anybody under this age gotta go, whatever. He announces on the thing, the wild party's gonna start. But they stayed.
Yeah. Dude, I think it's as bad as we think it is.
It is.
You know? I think they're eating babies.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't doubt it anymore.
Why not?
You know,
why not?
Surprise me.
Wouldn't surprise me.
You know.
People say that like 20 years ago, for instance. What do you mean they're eating babies? Are you out of your mind?
Right.
But we've come in 20 years, so like, wait, maybe they are eating babies.
Yeah. Like maybe the earth is fine.
No, Jesus. Don't you? No.
They make some valid points.
Wow. All right. Well, this is the last episode of whatever we're going to call this show. Earth stuff, dude. I'm sorry. This flat Earth stuff's dumb. I get to a point, and then they're eating babies, but flat Earth, that's where I draw the line.
Right.
Yeah, man. There is, like between the two of them, like back to what I was saying before, this you got to be that's pure evil, right there. And like, what's driving that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's got to be something driving that. Because me or you would never think of doing something like that. Normal people don't think about that stuff. So what is my buddy said to me one time? It's like, can you get a guy?
Money and fame, dude.
Right.
Does weird shit to you.
My buddy is not
Bruce Jenner.
I know. Guy was the greatest male athlete, one of the greatest male athletes
Right.
ever. And now he's fighting with the Kardashians, like as Caitlyn. Well, what? That's pretty nuts, dude. You ever seen a picture of the old picture with Howard Cosell standing next to OJ and Bruce Jenner?
Right.
Like, you got to fast forward 30 years. Like, what happened to those two? That's unbelievable. Yeah, well, Caitlyn Jenner. I don't know, man. Like I said, there's not enough focus on the stuff we should be focusing on. And everybody just falls into that. Look at this shiny stuff over here, so we can do this.
Like they force feed it to you. Like
Yeah.
you got no choice. It's
Yeah.
it's like the WNBA. Dude. Like it's garbage. Get it off the TV.
All right, now we're going to talk about that now.
You know?
Okay.
Sorry.
No. I don't have a problem with what you said. I don't.
Like.
All right.
Like I bet the rec games you would announce
Right.
with Dubs
Yeah. Aubz is dead to me.
were
I'm just
more
kidding.
fundamental than
Yeah.
that garbage.
I do, however, however, I'm not saying I watch, but if I turn the TV on and see Caitlin Clark there, I'll watch.
I'll tell you what, the fucking Angel Reese Caitlin Clark thing is fascinating.
Yeah. So you're paying attention. See?
Oh yeah, I mean I'm not watching games, but like one of my favorite things to do is see these compilations of Angel Reese missing fucking layups.
It's the greatest thing ever. It's the greatest thing ever, dude.
Bam! Did you ever see that guy?
Yes. Oh, the guy on TikTok. I see him on TikTok.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that is some great stuff.
That's great. And
Yeah.
she doesn't like that stuff either. She gets mad at those videos.
Yeah, well,
Stop
get back to
punching-
your play.
Yeah. Stop trying to beat up. Now I'm going to say something. Is she, Caitlin Clark, the most dominating athlete in her sport right now?
I guess I don't watch enough to notice, but it seems like it. Like I think she's like surpassed a lot of like records so far, and she hasn't even played like 50 games.
Right. Now, I'm not going to go into crazy talk about the WNBA because it's not a long topic. But what I am going to say about the WNBA and Caitlin Clark is all of those girls in that league that don't like her or whatever you may be, the first one of you that signs $1 million contract, the first team playing or whatever kind of happens, you better kiss Caitlin Clark's ass because she's the only reason that people are going to watch this. Whatever, her debut, whatever team they were playing, again, I don't know the teams, whatever, was averaging 3,500 seats a night to watch the game. Her debut, they had to move it to a bigger arena because 37,000 people showed up, dude. On a consistent basis, wherever she would go, attendance go up like 500%. Attendance would go up.
Yeah.
And this girl's getting her ass kicked on the court by these other women who are just jealous of her. But she's not like, she's not telling. She's like, oh, this is bullshit. No, she's letting other people take care of it. And she's like, I'm just going to go in there and drain the three right in your face, or I'm going to elbow you. So what? I get a foul. So I think she's handling it well.
Oh, for she's getting like the videos. I don't watch the games, but
yeah,
you see clips of whatever, and she just gets knocked around.
I know.
Like on purpose.
Yeah. And I had it when the last person said, oh, every time she goes off the court, like she does this, she does like the little heart. Dude, she's been doing that since she's 6 years old to her dad, who's watched every single game she's played. Since she's 6, she's been shooting a heart to her dad in the stands while he's watching. And now, she has to shoot a heart. No, she's been doing it since she's 6. Stop making shit up, dude. You know what I mean? Stop trying to bring this chick down. I want her to just stop and just beat that whole Chicago team, Angel Reese included, just beat them all up. See what happens. Big scrap one day. Just, just like Detroit pissed in their ass.
Well, I don't know if she could fight.
Maybe.
Man,
she might not.
She don't look like she could fight.
She might
probably take Angel Reese in the cage.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. In a free throw competition, I'll take Caitlin Clark, but in a fight, Angel Reese all the way. Yeah, I guess whatever. Do you think how do you think Caitlin Clark would do if, let's just say, name a player, Anthony Edwards. Let's say Anthony Edwards was just tired of losing in the championship. So he says, you know what? I'm going to go win the WNBA championship. I'm going to become transgender. And I'm going to say, you know what? You have to let me play in the WNBA and he just starts dunking on all these women, starts running them over. So, but we have to allow that, right?
Yeah. I mean, technically,
Mm-hmm.
you did. I don't know if that's anymore. Like, didn't Trump, like,
Okay,
that's part of his Gulf of America thing?
It's funny. It's funny you say that, Kevin, because I've been following these stories.
King Trump get the like two genders? Right?
It's funny you say that because I've been following this a little bit. And listen to these stats, okay? This is a softball player. 5 starts in a row, no hits, 1 walk, complete games. Championship. These are A level high school tournaments. Okay. State championship. Pitches again, 2 days rest. Comes in, pitches the complete game, shutout, 3 hits. So it's pretty damn good, right? Mm-hmm. But what if I were to tell you that Marissa Rothenberger used to be a man and transitioned into a female softball player? And what would you say about that?
I'd say that's fucked up. Crazy. It shouldn't be allowed. Like.
Now I say that when I say it shouldn't be allowed, people look at you like you're terrible. No, but it shouldn't be allowed because it's just not fair.
No,
that's how I feel about it.
It's not fair. It's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Yeah,
it's dangerous. Came out of the laundry all of a sudden. Now that boxer was a guy. First and second place.
Did you ever see? You watch South Park?
Yes, I do.
Did you ever see the one where Macho Man Randy Savage was like transitioning?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I don't want to talk about my transition.
Dude, that is so funny. They have such a great way of portraying that shit, though.
Yeah, the sad thing is like that's how we are. Like when we can't, it's like taboo to fucking say it. Like it's wrong, people.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. And it's wrong. And it's like you kind of have to like dumb it down for people too, because it's wrong, because it's biologically and physically wrong. And now people look and say, why are you jumping on this? Like it's not really even a big deal. It's a huge deal to millions of college students, millions of high school students who are relying on scholarships. They're relying on being the best. They're relying on, let's just say, I'd say Aiden was a super duper athlete and he's a female. And he's getting ready to get a scholarship. And all of a sudden this happens. Now he loses his scholarship to somebody who beats him in a swimming race by 1.5 minutes. Right, yeah. It's like it's there. Your biological makeup is still, you have testosterone. Your biological makeup is a male, makes you stronger. And that's not a disparaging remark against females, because females, you are more rational and you're smarter than us.
Too, man.
Yeah.
Like it's just wrong.
Yeah. And people,
it's not a level playing field.
No. But it's no big deal. It's only sports. That's what people tell me.
Yeah, well, sports taught me many of the life lessons that are, that you need.
Yeah. Yeah. There's winners, there's losers.
Yeah.
Part of a team, you support each other, you listen to authority.
Yeah. You lose. You lose graciously.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's just
it's to a point where, like I said, let's just use these parents. It's like, oh, you've been losing. Like I can't believe you've never won a medal.
Right.
Maybe well, mom.
Timmy really wants to play short.
Come on, man. That's what it is, though, and that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Is I guess, I mean, is it the parents wanting their children to succeed by any means necessary? I think that's a form of doing steroids, to be honest with you. It's like you may as well just give them steroids to compete against other women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a male testosterone that's still in your body. Pump some male testosterone into a female. That's what they're doing. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. And that to me is the reason why it's wrong. And again, People listen to the way the messages are being portrayed, not what's being said. What's being said is it's wrong because it's biologically and physically wrong because it's not fair.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just so fucked up. Like, to me, it's like the island of Dr. Moreau, dude. Like, with the chemicals and the hormone treatments. You know, like, it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Great analogy, dude.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great analogy because it's true. No? Because they're and that's what they're doing. And you just hit the nail on the head. I think they're just trying these science experiments with humans.
Yeah, I mean, like, so, okay, so, like, to me, it's mostly psychological. Granted, I'm sure there's like hermaphrodites, people born with both organs, you know, like, there's like exceptions to where, like, you pick one and you go with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
Kind of how, or you don't pick any and you go with that, you know, and
right.
You know, choose a different career.
Right.
You know, probably with a stage.
right.
But yeah, this other stuff where, like, I feel like I'm a boy stuff, like, it's a little too island Dr. Moreau for me.
It is. Know? Yeah.
Like,
yeah, go ahead.
Like, if that's how they feel, let them grow up and feel that way. Like, don't start, like, Captain America injecting you with fucking stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah. It's I
don't know. It's just fucking weird.
And when you say it's like, it's not natural, it's against nature. Like, that's why I think that, like, I think what I said before about the letters, I think that, you know, the gays and the lesbians need to disconnect themselves, because I truly believe that you're born, you're born homosexual or heterosexual. I truly feel you're born that way.
Yeah.
But I feel that, you know, and I'm gonna get a lot of shit for saying this, but once you get past the fact that you're gay, everything else is mental. Everything else is, I want to be a boy. No, maybe you're just gay. Or I want to be a girl. Maybe I'm just a lesbian. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's maybe that's the case. Let's not go messing with our insides until we realize that it really boils down to, you're not changing any makeup. It's sex at the end of the day. It's who you want to have sex with, or it's who you want to spend the rest of your life with. Kev, me and you are great friends. If it wasn't for the sexual part, I could live with you for the rest of my life. You know what I'm trying to say? But that's the sex part. It's the sex. Listen, you're not a bad looking guy, dude, but I'm not banging you.
I have gotten a little gray over the years.
But that's what I mean, though. It's like, you know, men could stay together for, like, friends could stay together for life, but it's, we need that sexual release from women. And I think that's what it boils down to with being gay too, is like, that's what boils down to. It's the sex.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess.
I'm not really an authority.
I had somebody explain it to me, like how what it feels like. Not what it feels like sex, but like what you feel like inside. He just simply said to me, he goes, you know, like when you see a woman, how you feel like when you see a woman, I just can't help it. I feel that way when I see a man.
Yeah.
And that dumbed it down to me so much, where I was like, you have to be born that way. Because I'm not waking up one day and finding a man attractive that way. I'm just not. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's not happening to me because it's not there.
Yeah. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I care when you start shoving it down my throat.
Correct.
You know, like when it's all over the fucking place. Like, no, other than that, I don't fucking care.
Right. You know, it's when you start representing yourself as that, like in the military, let's just say. So now it's a big deal. So somebody gets kicked out of the military. Oh, it's because I was this. It's because I was that. It's no, it's because you were weak.
Like the people that stand up and feel the need to fucking announce it. I think those are the problems. You know, like if you just let people be them, you know, like there's no need to fucking announce it and fucking plaster it all over the fucking place.
The problem with that is you also have this people. The problem with that is you also have literally people in this world that will beat you up because they don't understand it.
Well, yeah, but if you shut up to begin with, those people wouldn't be trying to beat you up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's chicken or the egg here.
But I think like when you have feelings like that and you have feelings on the opposite side, I think that's what fuels that's what fuels like the whole war against, like, I don't like you because you're gay. That fuels that war. I don't like you because you're white and I'm black. All that differences that we have as people is like, that's what fuels our anger. That's what fuels our hate. When nobody really says to that gay person, black person, Spanish person, it's like, hey, what's your name? You know what I mean? Oh, what do you do for a living? In other words, no. It's like, I just saw you walking down holding hands with that guy. What are you doing? What are you gay? I'm gonna go beat you up. When he should have kind of said maybe like, whatever. You know.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that's my feel. I happen to, you know, and it's really a sticking point for me personally because I did lose 2 friends that I think a certain way when I'm completely for those rights as homosexuals. I'm for their rights to do what they need to do because there was a struggle there. But I don't want to be lumped into that category of that whole other shit. That explains my political makeup in a nutshell. Why can I be at a gay wedding and support my buddy and be like, you're doing everything great, but then make it disparaging, as they say, Mark says, transgender, what the hell is that? I don't understand it. What is this? Like, you know, I don't have sex. So what is this? I'm attracted to personalities. I don't understand that part of it. Why is that lumped in together? And why am I a bad person? I'm a bad person for other things, but
yeah.
I don't know, Kev. I don't know. It's just a little crazy to me.
It is crazy.
Yeah. And, you know, the way Donald Trump is handling it is the right way. He's just saying, like, look, this is it, man. There's men and women. And I'm going to take away your funding because you're not playing by the rules.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like Maine's still being an issue, right? They're like the big darn
Maine
in the side of, you know.
The softball player was Minnesota.
Was it Minnesota?
And the track and field high jumper / sprinter was California.
It's amazing, man. Like they did all that work for Title IX.
Yep.
And
has nothing to do with Title IX.
Like it just Title IX was like women's stuff and athletics and stuff.
Your daughter goes to college, right?
Did she?
Well, what I'm saying, she went to college, right? You wanted her to be protected in college, right?
Yeah.
But you don't want her to be protected the same way as Joe Schmo cutting his penis off. No, that's literally in a nutshell. That's what it is. You want your daughter to be safe, and that's what Title IX is all about. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and they just kind of like pissed all over it with this fucking who's the swimmer dude?
Leah Thomas.
Is that the name? Yeah.
Riley Gaines is the woman, and Leah Thomas is the guy. The guy was 137th in the world, and then he beat records by over 1 minute.
Yeah, like if that doesn't say it all.
Shattered the record.
Like we should all take that example and live by it. That it's wrong before someone gets fucking hurt. At least it was swimming.
Yeah,
you know, like it was.
But Kev, like I said a couple weeks ago. Now it's filtering into softball. These guys are throwing 105 mile an hour softball at a girl. What if she gets hit? Mm-hmm. They wear masks for a reason. Yeah. She's gonna get up to bat. What's a comebacker at a girl? Come on, man. It's like I said, it's just fucked up, dude. You know what? I'm going to the parade. Where's this anti-Trump parade? I'm out of here, dude.
Oh man. Dude, that's gonna be all over the fucking news.
It is.
Or the shows, call them shows.
You know what? Here's a question for you about that. Like, I truly believe that a lot of these people are going to be out there protesting today. I'm calling them cat ladies, but at the end of the day, they're just like, I don't know, just women that are just like, have something to complain about. When I see men there, and I see men, well, they could hate Trump. I'm not, but when I see men at these rallies, and it's just like, I'm a male feminist, or I have zero respect for you. How, like, a lot of these agendas that these groups are fighting against, how could you be a man and connect yourself to that if your wife's not just telling you to do that, or your girlfriend's just like, you better come with me to this protest, and you better raise your hands. Okay, honey, no problem. I don't want to upset the apple cart. You're right. Trump's an asshole. But yet he goes back in his buddies and he talks about my wife's crazy. And again, that's part of the problem. Cat ladies at these protests dragging their what's the word? Castrated husbands. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. You have the history of the world. He's a eunuch. He's dead.
I never got the protesters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? And again, go ahead.
What are you doing?
Yeah. And again, you know what? I'll go back to let's say Black Lives Matter, when that was a big thing. Listen, you want to protest, you're a black guy and you're a black woman, you want to protest, that's fine. Because you know why? At the end of the day, I have no idea what it's like to be a black guy.
Yeah, I mean, they took it
no
to
idea.
a whole other level with
right
blocking the roads,
right,
ways and shit. Now that's a new thing. Everyone's doing it.
Right. But what I am going to say is the only reason I don't think they should be doing it, but I don't understand what their lives are like. But who I do have a problem with is whatever so-and-so's name that grew up on East Hampton with a beard. Now he lives in Park Slope, and all of a sudden he's in this protest because he knows what it's like to be a black man in Queens in the 90s, or because it was rough, dude. Like the cops in the neighborhoods didn't get along. Yeah. But you grew up in Long Island. Now you bought an apartment in Park Slope, and now you're protesting. I mean, those are the people I have a problem with, dude.
Yeah. Well, they're just needy.
Mm-hmm.
They need attention.
Like,
I don't get it.
Like, how would you like to be like Mr. CEO of some huge law firm? You're a billionaire, and you just send your kid to Columbia, and he's like, just go to Columbia, and you have no idea what's going on. And all of a sudden it's graduation day, and your kid says to you, Dad, I'm not going to graduation. So, whoa, what are you talking about? You know what's going on in the world right now? I'm going to sit in front and protest my graduation. But Dad's going to be like, hold on a second, dude. What are we talking about here? I just paid $350,000 cash to pay for your agenda. And now you're not even going to your graduation. You're going to protest? How many of those parents didn't even know what was going on with some of those kids? And how many parents are actually saying, fueling the fire and say, go do it? That's embarrassing, bro. Columbia, Harvard, these big universities.
It's all of them, dude. Like it was up at UConn too, man.
Was it?
It's like I would get like updates from my daughter about the protesters, whatever thing it was that week. It was mainly the colored hair people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she called them. Like,
okay,
a different colored hair.
But that's every campus, like you said.
Yeah, it's every campus, man. It's unfortunately it's where they learn it.
Yeah, I watched a video a long time ago, and it was this. I don't know if it was Russian or Ukrainian. He was like it was from a long time ago, from like the 60s, and he was saying that America needs to watch out because other countries that don't like you are planting professors in universities. They're planting people
to long con.
It's a long game
of the long con.
But I think there's some truth to that.
It could be.
Not to the point where it's a conspiracy theory, but Joe Schmo says, yeah, I don't really care too much about politics. But then when he gets in the classroom, he's pushing an agenda. I think there's some truth to that.
Yeah, I honestly do too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it explains a lot.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like Biden, California.
Mm-hmm.
It explains a lot.
It does.
If that's the case, that there's plants.
Mm-hmm. And those plants had kids now who become teachers.
Yeah. Like wasn't like Kamala's dad like some.
I don't know.
I remember hearing something about that. I mean,
all I know is Kamala was definitely at a Diddy party or two. There's no way in hell. That's what she used to hang out with back then.
She was Montel's side piece. Man.
She was without a doubt at Diddy parties, dude.
I guarantee she saw some stuff.
Damn right she did.
Yeah, she put them all in jail for smoking weed.
Yeah. It's so crazy, wasn't it? So she could make money off the jail system.
Yeah.
Or whatever. We just went off a beaten path on that one, man. She was definitely at the Diddy party. But, to your point.
What were we talking about? I forgot.
Oh, it's like we were going off on a look at it.
We went on a few there.
Yeah. It's like marijuana affects the memory.
It never used to.
No, it never used to. It never used to. Yeah. It's becoming less and less. It's just becoming more of like a just kind of like I need it at night to go to sleep. And it's not that I need it. It's good to go to sleep at night or whatever. But we won't tell, we'll talk about our marijuana use.
It's like Zoloft for Tyson for me. It keeps me from killing y'all.
You're damn right. You're damn right. Yeah, you're damn right. Because on a daily basis, like when I go to New York City, Kev, on a daily basis, I'm working at Harlem Hospital right now.
Yeah.
And I'm literally working in the middle of just a forgotten area. Like literally, it's a forgotten area. And me and my friend were just talking about this the other day. I've grown to realize a lot of things about the community, those poor communities. It's not a black community. It's a poor community.
Yeah.
And I know that. And in all communities, poverty is the thing that affects the behaviors the most.
Mhm.
Okay. So when I say that is Harlem right now, there's a lot of poverty there. Appalachia, a lot of poverty there. Two completely different people, black and white,
Right.
but it's poverty. And like these
Right.
people are impoverished. And when you see the guy on the corner selling drugs, again, to my kids, it's not going to be like, wow, what's that guy doing? But some kid that his mom is shooting heroin or his dad is doing crystal meth all day and, rearranging car parts, you know what I mean? It's like, you have no shot at life. If you don't have somebody to say, wait a second, maybe we should do this. And maybe we should do that. Maybe, these pharmaceutical companies that set up shop down in West Virginia a bunch of years ago literally to kill people. It's like, maybe we shouldn't go that route. Your back hurts, you know what I mean? Like, and I think stuff like that, when you say plants, that stuff's done on purpose. Coal mining, Appalachia in the early 90s produced like, I'm going to flood this place with Oxycontin. And they stopped at a point where it was, I'm going to try and make 100 milligram Oxycontin. What do you guys think about that? And they're like, well, wait a second, 100 milligrams? And that's kind of where they got flagged. But they were prescribing this to people on a daily basis and just killing them.
Yeah.
Thinning the herd, like you said.
Yeah.
Addicted people.
Well,
they feel better. Poverty people.
They were creating
feel better.
consumers.
Right.
Creating
consumers. And consumers on both levels. Because you got the consumers from Purdue, who I think that whole family should be dead. The Skakel family, they should all be dead. Right down to he's the same as the guy on the corner selling crystal meth to poor people. They might be selling it to rich people who have prescriptions or whatever. But this is all the illegality of it too, is the killing people too. So it's affecting and murdering families. And these people go off scot-free and cash in $25 billion in 2009. Come on.
Yeah. Like it's weird that it's advertised on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Just medications.
All day long.
With like happy music and stuff. Dude, there was one on the other day. Like it's like the nice little grassy rolling hill, the happy music, little birds chirping, and like then they do the side effects.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was something for your eyes, and it was like it could cause retinal detachment. But it was said in such like a pleasing, it's like a melody. It's like, it causes retinal detachment.
Right.
Blah, blah. It's just like, like it. Yeah. I think we're the only country that advertises medication.
We are. No, we are. Some guy said it on Tucker Carlson a couple of weeks ago that we are the only country that advertises medicine.
So fucking, because it's like, it's not like I go to the store and get some.
No, you can't.
You gotta go to like the doctor and they give it to you. So it's like, who the fuck are you advertising to? It's just weird.
Yeah, you're advertising. Weird. Yeah, you're advertising the illegality of it because people are gonna see that, and they, what it is too. Like why they, when they give up, they're contractually obligated to give all the side effects. Obviously, they have to let you know. But all right, let's just say you just said the medicine for the eyes. Okay,
right.
Some guy is up, he's dying every day. His eye is just like leaking. He's just sick and tired of the shit. So he sees I had one eye. He looks at this commercial and he says, "Oh my God, this guy can get rid of this medicine, get rid of my eye." So his thought process is this medicine get rid of his eye, but you might have retinal detachment. You might die. You might have this. He's not going to hear all that. Right. He wants his eye to feel better. Yeah. So, and I think that's a smart advertising, I guess. But you have to do this. But we're going to tell you this first, and then we'll say it really fast. You know what I mean? Oh my God, my knees are killing me. My whatever is killing me. And a lot of these, you know what? Do you know what fibromyalgia is?
Isn't it just like pain?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think it's fake. Look, I'm sorry if I offend anybody with fibromyalgia, but I think it's just pain. Like, Kev, if I have fibromyalgia every morning when I wake up then because of work. My knees hurt from work.
Maybe I have it too, man.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe we have fibromyalgia. We don't know. So maybe we should hop on that bandwagon. But I think that, what I mean is there's a fucking medicine for everything. And if you think you have a symptom, you're going to buy it. You're going to get a prescription for it. The insurance companies love these new medicines. You know why? Because they're making millions and billions of dollars over people who think that they have headaches for this reason or think, I've been going to the doctor and I could probably say since I have kids, They don't know what they're talking about, a lot of them.
No.
Like your kids, okay? When your kids were young, how many times did you take them to the doctor and they said they don't know what's wrong with them? A bunch of times for me.
I don't know. I feel like I didn't really bring them to the doctor that much, unless it was like one of them visits that like the checkup, the whatever.
Right. Even me, I've heard I don't know for 25 years about my stomach.
Yeah.
I've heard I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why you wake up with insane stomach aches every single morning.
Well, did you get shot?
Well, I did, yeah.
I mean, I can probably be part of it.
Yeah, I did. That story will be for our next podcast.
Yeah.
This is going well, Kev. We're definitely going to keep this shit up, dude. But anyway, you're right, though, dude. It's kind of like,
Your doctors ever like correlated that with you? Like you did get shot?
Scar tissue.
Right?
Scar tissue. Yeah.
Okay.
Scar tissue at the bottom of my colon. But no one ever said that to me up until recently, that I have ulcers and scar tissue. I was always just told, I don't know. But the point I'm making is I think that there's so many like medications, so many different illnesses that people think they have. What happened to simply just having a cold, or having a fever, or breaking your knee or whatever? It's like everything's got an explanation for what it could be or can't be. So it makes it so easy to just diagnose you with something, and then, oh, wasn't that? Oh, so let's go try this. So that, again, the pharmaceutical companies are raking in money, or maybe this, maybe that. I don't know. So we'll buy both. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, we're just fucking.
Yeah, two guys with fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
That's gonna be our commercial. We're just two guys with fibromyalgia. I don't know. This, like I said, it's crazy. Anything else you want to talk about going on in the world today? Because you want to hit some sports.
I kind of want to take a break.
We can take a break.
And, I may have to pee. I'm over.
You know what? So, we are going to take a break right now, and we'll be back.
How long have we been going?
We've been going an hour, dude. Let's take a break, dude. I'm down.
A little 5 minute, a little 10 minute.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me. All right, gotta do what you gotta do. All right. This is the end of part 1 of a show that has no name yet. Two guys with fibromyalgia.